lease negotiations are a really interesting window into the mindset of a business owner, because they require you to think super long-term, more long-term than most small business owners think on a regular basis. Most small business owners are confronted with the reality of facing the day's problems, hitting the month's goal, maybe stretching into a quarterly or an annual target. But rarely are they thinking 1 year, 3 year, 5 years out, until it gets time to commit to a space and they have to sign a lease. Then they get very introspective. I'm working with 3 or 4 different businesses right now, 3 that I can think of, probably 4, that are negotiating leases, either to relocate, expand. Their primary concern is either what is in this lease that's going to allow us to extend it at the end of the lease term and make sure that this location that's going to become central to our business is able to keep operating without a hitch, or what is there in this lease agreement so that if things don't turn out right, I have an early out and it doesn't cost me too much money. 2 completely different ends of the spectrum. Now, lease agreements will have both of those things in them. They'll have renewal provisions and they'll have early termination, but you can read a lease agreement and you can definitely be involved in lease negotiations, and you will see one of those 2 extremes emphasized in how it's negotiated and how it's written up. You take this place, like I don't know whether the Naughty Monk Brewery is going to be successful or not. But if I had insight into how they negotiated the lease for this space, I would have a much better understanding of what their plan is, what they think their prospects for growth are, how central they think this facility is going to be to those plans, or whether it's just kind of a starter spot. All of that stuff you would figure out by how they negotiated and what they wound up getting this particular piece of real estate for. See, for me, watching a business owner go through a lease negotiation is a real gut check in terms of seeing where their head's at and what they're focused on. Are they playing offensively or are they playing defensively? Because if you go into something like a lease negotiation and you're looking for a way out in 2 or 3 years, you're playing defensively, and that's okay as long as it is a part of a much longer offensive plan. The lease example just works so well because it's something that we see every day in business. It's a concrete, it's one of those things that forces you to think long term. Even business owners who will say they don't believe in planning, they don't believe in, you can't forecast the future. When they have to sign their name on a lease, they do start planning. They do start, deciding what the future is going to look like. And they either play offense or they play defense. And you can apply that to lots of different areas. A new hire, if you're thinking about the new hire in terms of, well, I hope they work out, but if they don't, how quickly can I get rid of them? That's defensive. If you're thinking about the new hire and you're thinking, this is the right person we've been looking for, this is the right fit for our organization, how are we going to make sure they stay here 15, 20 years? Then you're playing offensively. That goes for products, it goes for services, it goes for people, it goes for locations. You can take just about any big decision you have to make and use that kind of lease scenario gut check to decide whether you're playing offense or defense. Defense is okay in the short term, but it's no strategy to run a business. See you guys tomorrow.